Hi everyone, I'm Hannah, the museum educator here at the Transcona Museum. Welcome to the last day of Craft With Us Cooking Week. Today we'll be making butter in a mason jar. Here's an example of a butter I made in a mason jar, so looks very good. What you'll need for this craft is a mason jar, heavy cream, a spoon, a bowl, and a plate. So to start, all you need to do is fill your mason jar about halfway with the heavy cream. Make sure when you screw your lid on, it's really tight so you don't spill it anywhere. Maybe just do a test. Okay, we're good. So today I actually am going to bring some special guests to help me with this craft. So I'll bring in Alana, the museum curator, first. So, hi! Hi, Alana. So she's gonna start the shaking first. That's basically what you're gonna do, is just shake the whole craft. So to break up some of the awkward silence of shaking, we're gonna ask questions to our guests. So Alana, what do you do here at the museum?
I am the museum curator, so I am in charge of the operations and the running of the museum and overseeing all of the staff that are here at the museum. I wear a lot of hats because we have a small staff here, so if something is done at a museum, I likely do it, or I try to.
What is your favorite thing to do at the museum?
My favorite thing to do, one of my favorite things to do is actually when we change the exhibits around, all that work that we have to do that goes into designing the exhibit, to building it, and that's using power tools, that's painting, that's moving heavy furniture around. That's a really fun time here at the museum. I do like working with the collections. I really enjoy conservation. I don't get to do that so much anymore with this position. Yeah, those are some of my favorite things.
Do you have a favorite artifact in the collection?
I do, and it's actually on display right now. My favorite artifact is the fetal beluga whale in the jar that we have. It is so random and different that when I first saw it, I was like, why do we have this? And I like it. That is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites too. When I first saw it, I was like, that's interesting. Something I've never seen before, for sure.
Yep.
What is your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
As you can see,
I'm wearing
blue shirt.
blue mask, blue shirt, and I'm actually wearing blue pants as well today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So have you ever made butter before?
I've almost over whipped cream to make butter before, accidentally, but I've never done this before to make butter.
Right.
Yeah. I enjoy butter though,
right.
On toast or using it in baking and stuff like that.
Yep. We have some artifacts in the collection that are relate to butter. Could you describe some of those?
Yeah, we have some butter molds here. So after the butter has been made, do you have your example?
Yes.
So oftentimes it looks like that because you have to wash off the buttermilk and rinse your butter. But then a lot of times people would want to have a nicer shape than the lump of butter. So we have butter molds in our collection, various different ones. We have ones that would just form it into like a block of butter. We have other ones that add fancy design. So if you're having a fancy party and the pat of butter for everybody's bread or toast could all be like a flower or something like that. Yeah. And I believe we actually have one of those butter churn, old-fashioned, with the bucket and the pole, which basically does the same thing you're doing here, but you can do it in a much larger scale. And I can tell it's turning more into whipped cream.
Yeah, so if
it's getting harder to do.
If you open it up at around the 2-minute point, whenever you've kind of hit that point for shaking, if you open the jar up, you should start to see it look like a whipped cream or kind of a yogurt type consistency, I would say.
It's not
quite whipped cream yet, but it's getting a lot thicker. All right, so we'll give Alana a little bit more shaking time, and then I'll do some shaking, and I'll kind of explain why or how does heavy cream turn into butter just by shaking it.
It's pretty hard to do.
Yeah,
I'm pretty tired.
It's a workout for sure. So
yeah. And this is just like a tiny little bit.
Yeah, so imagine if you have to make a lot of butter with a lot of cream.
Yeah.
All right. Good to switch. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, Alana. All right. So to understand how heavy cream turns into butter and buttermilk, because you're going to get both in this craft, you need to understand how heavy cream is made. So think about, sorry, just have to pull up my mask. When whole milk is left uncovered in the fridge, the fat molecules of the milk will start to float to the top, and that forms the layer of heavy cream, which is what we have used today in the jar to make our butter. So if you have whole milk, you can start the experiment by even making your own heavy cream first. And so when we shake the cream in the mason jar, the agitation causes the fat molecules to lump together. And at the same time, the water molecules are squeezed out of the clump, and that becomes buttermilk. So basically it's just fat molecules clumping together and the water molecules being separated out. And the process is reversible. So if you want to experiment further, you can melt the homemade butter and mix it with buttermilk. And yeah, and there you go. Then you'll have heavy cream again.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So your arms might be hurting at this point, but it's a workout. You got your activity in for the day. I have a photo here actually to show that we have in our collection of someone, in Transcona who was making butter. So here is the photo. You can see the lady making butter with the churning butter churner. And once we're done making the butter today, you can add whatever you'd like into the butter. So you could add salt, you could add spices and herbs, or even honey, make something sweet. You could really add anything to kind of make the butter how you'd like it. And we'd love to see how your butter turns out in the end. So definitely feel free to post photos on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and tag the museum at Transcona Museum so we can see your work, your hard work, and maybe even share it.
So Hannah, what's your favorite color?
Okay, my favorite color is maybe like either red or like a sage green or something. I can't pick a specific one, but I have colors that I lean more towards.
Do you have a favorite artifact other than the baby beluga whale?
I love all of the like the fossils and archaeological type artifacts, like the arrowheads and different stone tools that were found. I have always found archaeology super interesting, so I love looking at all of the things, and we have a lot on display. So if you're interested in seeing those, definitely come to the museum to check them out. All right, so we'll see where our, ooh, this is what it looks like so far. So we're kind of getting there. The butters, it's starting to kind of clump together. So we're reaching the end. So next I'll bring in the other summer student, Ashlyn. There you go. Hi. So Ashlyn, tell everyone what you have been doing here this summer at the museum.
I've been having the time of my life. So I started out doing a lot of work in the database, which is really great because I get to help like tidy things up a bit and see all these cool photographs that we have here and all these artifacts. But my favorite thing has been bringing new items, new donations into the collection, which is called accessioning. And it's really cool when artifacts have like a story behind them. Mm-hmm. Like every artifact has a story, and it's really cool when like the person who brings the item to the museum can tell us something about it, because like it's really fun and interesting, but then you also get to learn really cool things about Transcona and bring the whole story together. And like Transcona, this community we have here, it's really dear to my heart. I just love it. So such an awesome job to have.
Mm-hmm. So you're a university student?
Yep.
What do you study?
Right now I'm at the University of Winnipeg, and I started out studying theater, but I found that like all the electives I wanted to take, all the other classes were history, and I realized, you know, that's something that I really love too, so I'm kind of doing both at the same time. But I'd really like to go into museum studies after University of Winnipeg.
Me too. That's what working at a museum for a summer does.
Very true.
Yeah.
You can really hear the liquid separated. Yeah.
As you can see, we've kind of got, the liquid has separated and we have our chunk of butter in there. So we will switch Ashlyn off and bring in Jen just to finish off our butter in a mason jar today. So hi Jen.
Whoops. I want to make sure this is on.
Yes, good idea.
Yeah.
So what do you do here at the museum?
I'm the assistant curator here at the museum, so I assist Alana with wearing a lot of hats. Yes.
What have you been working on this summer?
I kind of bounce around with what I do. So I do a lot of like the social media and marketing and promotion for the museum. I also do collections work. Research is one of my favorite things. Mm-hmm. And actually assisting the capital campaign that we're doing right now with the 2747. Mm-hmm. So that's our Get On Board capital campaign, and all funds raised through that campaign are going to help build a protective enclosure over the locomotive, which is located at Rotary Heritage Park. It's been on outdoor display since 1960. So it's been exposed to the elements for all this time. So it's been sandblasted, restoration work has happened on it, and we want to ensure that that work stays nice and in good condition. So we're hoping to build an enclosure structure over it. And yeah, we're really excited about the project.
Mm-hmm. And I know you've also been working on you've just released a new walking tour that's happening on Saturdays, and you were working on researching that. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so we have a new walking tour. It's called Transcona's War Effort. So it looks at the military history of the community in both World War I and World War II. Stories from both on the home front and overseas, how Transcona assisted in the war effort. And we hit a lot of locations and sites and monuments and plaques and all that type of stuff in this downtown area. And we also go to Memorial Circle Park and see the cenotaph. So that's on Saturdays. There's this Saturday and next Saturday for the rest of the summer, and that's from 11 a.m. till about 12:30. Yeah. So you can sign up on our website for that.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think our butter is pretty much done. We should have a chunk in there. Let's see. Oh yes, look at that. Okay, so we have our chunk of butter in our buttermilk. Ooh, almost spilt it. So I'm just going to take the gimbal off so I can show how to separate the buttermilk from the butter. Okay, so as you can see, we have our clump of butter with the buttermilk. So take your spoon and hold the butter, just pressing the spoon up against it, and dump out all of your buttermilk. This can be used for baking, has many different uses. So once you dump out all your buttermilk, which you can save in the fridge, you can put your butter on a plate, and what you're going to do is just rinse the butter to get all of the excess buttermilk out so that it doesn't get rancid.
Once you rinse it.
Oh yeah, so once you rinse it, it will look like this.
And it'll just take maybe a couple passes for the water to run clear. That's what you want.
Yeah.
And then you have butter.
So, yeah. So thank you so much for joining all of us today on this last day of Craft With Us Cooking Week. Join us next week for Animal Week, and this is also our last week of Craft With Us. On Monday we will be making egg carton caterpillars. On Wednesday we will be making paper plate flamingos, and on Friday we will be making bison hand painting. So definitely join along. I'll be here on Facebook Live at 2 p.m. on Monday and Wednesday, and at 10 a.m. on Facebook Live on Friday. And you can also join us in person. So if you want to craft with me in person, visit our website and sign up. So thank you so much and have a great day.